Six Flags is not a company known for spending. In fact, they are known for the exact opposite. Pre-2010, Six Flags spent way too much money and it sent them into bankruptcy, which led to their cheap business model. Obviously, a Giga coaster isn't cheap, but I believe Six Flags is preparing to open their first Giga coaster ever. Pull down your restraint, cause this is gonna be insane. The term Giga coaster first came out when Cedar Fair broke the 300-foot barrier on a roller coaster for the first time back in 2000, then when Millennium Force opened at Cedar Point. Since then, anytime a roller coaster is between 300 to 400 foot tall, it's called a Giga coaster. Millennium Force, the first Giga coaster, was built by Intamin. And until 2012, Intamin was the only roller coaster manufacturer that could build a coaster that high. Crazy how that was just 10 years ago. But in 2012, B&M came up with their version of the Giga coaster. Leviathan was the first to open at Canada's Wonderland, followed by Fury 325 at Carowinds, which is the tallest roller coaster with a lift hill. B&M's Giga model was a lot more reliable and sometimes a better experience than some of Intamin's creations. There was one problem with the Giga coaster: the price. Giga coasters are expensive, very expensive, usually around the $30 million range. That price is out of the budget most parks have, and even some that may be willing to spend that much would need a lot of space to make a Giga happen, especially if it's from B&M. That meant we weren't gonna see too many Giga coasters. And though Cedar Fair built a few, Six Flags never even built one. When I say I think a Giga coaster is opening at a Six Flags park soon, I don't say that because I think the coaster model's price will go down. Rather, I think Six Flags will be looking to build a few standout attractions at some of their major parks. And this is one of the best ways they can do that. Intamin probably wouldn't be on the table in my opinion because a B&M Giga just makes more sense in my opinion. Six Flags is once again working with B&M and B&Ms are a lot more reliable in terms of capacity and maintenance. A B&M Giga needs to fit in a park if Six Flags were to build it, and it would obviously have to be at one of their larger parks. The Giga would also have to be built in a park that doesn't have any sort of height restrictions limiting coasters above 300. Right away, you can knock off most of the bottom and middle tier Six Flags parks, but there are a few I want to bring up. The first is Six Flags Over Texas. This park is one of the largest Six Flags parks and was built up by the chain for years, being that it was Six Flags' first ever park. This park could benefit a lot from a B&M Giga, but there's no way Six Flags would spend that amount of money on a coaster here. The next park I want to bring up is Six Flags New England, another park that could use a Giga. Doesn't need and probably won't get it since they don't have much space and aren't in the budget of opening $30 million coasters. If any Six Flags park were to get a B&M Giga, it would have to make sense. Fiesta Texas is the smallest of the 4 top-tier Six Flags parks, and I don't see this park getting a B&M Giga simply because it wouldn't really make sense here. Six Flags has shown no intention of spending that much money at this park, and the park doesn't even have a normal hyper coaster. So while I do think this could happen eventually, it probably won't happen anytime soon. Fiesta also might have a height restriction, but I'm not sure about that. Great America is a park that I could see the Six Flags chain building a Giga at budget-wise, but they have a height restriction and would need special permission to build a coaster that high. I think it's still a possibility, but sadly, I don't think it's something we will see for a long while. That leaves us with the 2 top Six Flags parks, Magic Mountain and Great Adventure. Six Flags Magic Mountain was rumored to get a Giga coaster from B&M for ages. The west coast of the US needs a true B&M, and if not a hyper, a Giga would do just fine. Until now, I would have thought this as a very likely possibility, especially since it's the chain's favorite park. But now that Magic Mountain's competitor, Knott's Berry Farm, seems to be getting the largest B&M Giga in the world, Magic Mountain probably won't get a Giga anytime soon, at least not from B&M. However, if Knott's Berry Farm rumored Giga coaster falls through, I could see Six Flags picking up the idea and installing a Giga coaster at their flagship park before it's too late. That leaves us with the perfect Six Flags park for a Giga coaster. Honestly, I think Great Adventure will get a B&M Giga coaster in the next few years, and here's why. First of all, they have more than enough room to build, and the chain has no problem spending for coasters at this park. This park also has the most B&Ms from any park in the world, so one more can't hurt. Also, how cool would it be to be able to ride the world's tallest coaster as well as the world's tallest coaster with a lift hill both in the same park. A B&M Giga coaster would also help give Great Adventure another standout attraction and bring them back to the park they were 10 years ago. I mean, what other park gets King the Ka and El Toro with $25 million coasters in back-to-back years? Now, I could just be biased, since Great Adventure is my home park, but I think a B&M Giga would work perfectly here. It would also one-up Hershey Park just a few hours away, which has been expanding rapidly recently. I mean, what better way to punch Hershey Park than to get a B&M Giga just a few years after they got a B&M Hyper? The only problem I see with Great Adventure Giga Coaster is the price, but the more I think about it, the better it sounds. If you compare Magic Mountain to Great Adventure pre-Six Flags going bankrupt, Great Adventure was being treated a lot better. From 2005 to 2011, Great Adventure opened 4 coasters. King the Ka, the world's tallest coaster, El Toro, literally one of the best coasters ever built, the Dark Knight, an indoor Wild Mouse, and Green Lantern, a relocated B&M stand-up coaster. Magic Mountain, on the other hand, opened Tatsu, an awesome B&M flyer, Green Lantern, a failed Intamin Zaxspin, Apocalypse, a solid wood coaster, and a family coaster. Then post-bankruptcy, Six Flags changed things around a bit. Magic Mountain opened 4 new coasters while Great Adventures opened 2. Magic Mountain got Full Throttle in 2013, Twisted Colossus in 2015, West Coast Races in 2019-2020, and Wonder Woman Flight of Courage for 2022, delayed from 2021. Great Adventure opened the Joker in 2016 and Jersey Devil in 2021, delayed from 2020. Both of Great Adventure's coasters are clones. So, since Six Flags spent so little money on Great Adventure this decade, maybe they can find it in their hearts to give us a B&M Giga. I honestly think this will happen, but not as their next coaster. I'm betting a Giga comes to Great Adventure around 2028-ish, but definitely before 2030. But I do believe Six Flags will open a lot more Giga coasters in the coming years. There's the potential for a B&M Giga at Great Adventure, and maybe Magic Mountain will open an Intamin Giga to compete with Knott's B&M. But what about RMC? RMC can obviously go 300 feet with their T-Rex model, but I'm not necessarily talking about that. RMC may be able to build a ground-up insane Giga hybrid coaster in the next few years. Every major Six Flags park has an RMC hybrid besides, you guessed it, Great Adventure. I feel like this video has turned more into my wishes for my home park, but imagine a group of RMC Giga hybrid in the same park as El Toro. Six Flags will definitely open a Giga coaster in the next few years, and if not a B&M Giga, the T-Rex is something I could see. I believe we will see Six Flags continue to innovate a lot while working with B&M and RMC over the next decade, and though it may seem unlikely now, I think a B&M Giga will open at Great Adventure in the next 8 years. But what about Knott's Berry Farm Giga? Will it destroy Magic Mountain?